Oh, we have a lot of people here already. This is awesome. I love this, but hold on. My phone is a little bit crooked. I gotta make sure it's sitting in the holder better. Okay, that looks crooked to me. Okay, crooked. Oh, it's gonna be busy this time. It's Friday night in a popular neighborhood, so it's gonna be really, we'll have lots of people, I think. Okay, yeah, okay, we're stable. All right, let me just see what everyone says first, then I'll start walking. Who we got here? Oh, Alex. All right, my friend Alex is here. He gave me a good topic. We're going to talk about some comic economics tonight. We got Tina, of course. We got Ralph. We got G. Timmons. We got Brooklyn Born. And, let's see. Who else? Melody's here. Hi, Melody. We got Ralph. We got Ronnie and Rascal. Hi, Rascal. Good boy. Good boy. We got, oh, Ted's here. Hey, Ted. Oh, everyone's here. Okay, sweet. It's a good start. We got a room full of beautiful people. All right. So, I started today a little bit like, because my sleep pattern is starting to switch a little bit. I mean, it's always switching, but no, it's not that. Look how busy it is right now. Like the bars and everything is hopping. I literally can't even walk here. There's literally hundreds of people right in the first block. There's 100 people over here. There's people. Actually, let's go this way because there's like a little, it's like a little corner restaurant that looks like a freaking nightclub on the weekends because of the bouncer. This still feels a little bit crooked. A little bit crooked. All right, I'm trying. So. Yeah, no, I didn't wake up today until about 8:15, and I got kind of depressed because I've been enjoying the live. Oh, did you guys see the street candy pirate? He just ran across. It's also street candy night. Street candy night, so the street candy pirates are gonna be out and about, and yeah. Well, I did the little. I really didn't want to get that 4,000 watch hours badly. So I figured I'd try to do, yeah, so like here, this is just a little quiet restaurant that during the week, there's like nobody inside. It's normally really quiet, but Friday, Saturday night, it becomes a freaking like club. The music's loud. They got like people hanging out, like partying. And this is the back here. The back is closed off, so it's just the front. So they actually have a bouncer for this place. Oh man, I'm probably going to get copyright claimed right now. So yeah, we got it's crowded there, and then this bar, there's about 8 people outside. The bar is packed wall to wall people. And then the outdoor seating has like 8 to 10 people eating. People here. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna, it's gonna be hard to walk through the neighborhood tonight. There's gonna be so many people. Because of all my eating problems, I actually don't go to restaurants too often. And so I don't really have a favorite. This camera, I'm so, like, it feels very crooked to me tonight. I'm just trying to get it correct. Okay. Whew. Yeah, it's the weather's not too bad. It's like 53, so it's slightly chilly, but it's not raining. I got a blister on my toe from last night's walk because I wore the wrong socks. I forgot to put on my thick, comfy socks. So I'm starting to feel that. But so yeah, I woke up today at like 8:30, and I was really bummed out because we were going to try to see Guardians of the Galaxy because I'm so afraid of the spoilers. The spoilers are just, oh my God, on the rewatch. This video is going to be terrible because I'm probably going to get copyright claimed on every other block because it's party night, so the music is everywhere. Yeah, I got to talk real loud. All right, well, we got There's about 20 people. Okay, wall-to-wall people. Got some people in this outdoor seating right here. I have some topics to talk about, but I think we're just going to enjoy the crowd for a little bit. Pizza's popping. Lots of people eating pizza.
Give it to me.
Wow. Okay, I don't even know what you guys are saying because I'm just paying attention to all the people so I don't run into somebody. That was crazy. That's, I think, the busiest I've seen it in a while. But you know what it is? It's Friday night on a nice night. Friday night in a neighborhood that's a very popular neighborhood for nightlife. So Friday night is the night people come to this neighborhood to hang out. And then Saturday night people come to hang out. Pizza here is hopping. Not as hopping as the other place, but wow, that corner was crazy busy. Okay, let me see if I can catch up with what you guys say. Cinco de Mayo. Oh yeah, I forgot Cinco de Mayo. Maybe there's people out celebrating that as well. Yeah, it's during. I guess it might be Cinco de Mayo celebrations. It is right here. See, there's a big banner actually. So people are out and about celebrating the holiday, the 5th of May. So yeah, wall-to-wall people right here. Wall-to-wall people. Yeah, that's what it is. People are out and about for Cinco de Mayo. So yeah, this is a neighborhood for nightlife. So people come here. There's hundreds of like bars and restaurants and all kinds of locations. So people are out and about having a fun evening. So we're out and about having a fun evening. But yeah, this is crazy. I'm not gonna be able to walk very well or fast. Okay, this is good though. So I woke up 8:30. I had planned to try to wake up by 7. I really want to see Guardians of the Galaxy because the spoilers are everywhere, and I'm just like terrified of being spoiled. Just the smallest spoilers. And so I want to do that, but I just didn't get up in time. And I didn't get up in time to do the live comic call today, so it was a little bit, but I knew I was gonna wake up later today just because my sleep is cycling. So I did the edited video on the comic channel. So we did have that. Joe's Pizza is pretty busy. All right, let's cycle around back to Wythe Avenue, I think. Because I think over there's some clubs that should be hopping in too. Yeah, no spoilers. Although I'm seeing people just everywhere.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, I don't know exactly what it is. It's disconnecting. Okay, there we go. We're back. Okay, so now we're going down the side street here a little bit. We can think a little bit. So yeah, I was kind of like, and then I was actually in Bry's Comics buying some stuff. That's why I'm late today. I was in Bry's Comics. I bought 3 comics, I think, 4 comic books. And no, I can't eat pizza. I'm allergic to gluten. So as much as I love pizza, I only eat it once or twice a month. And usually when I eat it, I have to eat it with a fork and I eat the cheese and the sauce, and I can't eat the crust. But even that, I'll get some gluten from just doing that. So that's when I break down, and I just have like a nervous breakdown. I need to eat pizza. The clouds tonight are very fluffy in a weird way. So I'm going to go see if we can recreate that weird colorful cloud again tonight. All right, the connection is going in and out a little bit too much tonight too. This sucks. That's a bummer. But yeah, I was talking to Alex just before I was in Bryce Comics. He was asking me some economic questions about like valuable comic books and the slab and all that. And it was getting to be actually a really good conversation. So I said I had to hop on the live. So tonight we're going to have a economic conversation on the economics of slabs. And it's going to be a fun conversation. I want you guys to pipe in with questions or comments, or if you think I got something wrong. Okay, this way there are... Actually, let's go back this way. Over here, there might be some fun clubs doing stuff. The one really crowded corner, though, is right by the subway. So, obviously, people came to celebrate and got stuck right on the corner. They didn't even make it away from the subway. Whew. You know what? I forgot to grab a Red Bull too. My lungs are a little bit funky tonight. You know what? This store seems new to me. I don't remember a big sign that said, oh, dang it. Disconnect again. Okay, it's so weird. It just keeps going in and out tonight. I'm gonna get Red Bull because I feel a little bit of strain on my lungs. I need some caffeine to dilate my lungs. I hear it's a good amount of audio, even though I don't see a lot of people. There's still a lot of chatter going on this street. When I was like 19 years old, I wasn't a clubber, I was a mosh pitter. I loved Red Hot Chili Peppers, Primus, Rage Against the Machine, 311, those kind of bands. But I wore glasses, so I couldn't really ride the crowd. And there's only so much I could actually get beat up in the crowd. But I love just going to a good thumping, metal funk concert. Those were the best. So I did that a bunch of times. I've seen Primus, I think 6 times in concert. Well, Primus, Les Claypool. I saw I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers during a big snowstorm. That was a fun concert. Okay, we're back over this way. I think we're gonna go up to see what's going on in this part of the neighborhood. Yeah, I love that stuff. Just a good, strong bass line with some strong drums and all of that. All right, Alex, you still here? I think I'm gonna start my conversation. Even though there's a lot of music, I need a... Where are we? I actually need... Oh, see, yeah, this corner is going on. That restaurant has a lot going on. Hey, Nicholas. Yeah, My Name Is Nut is a great song. The performance during Woodstock 99, when they started throwing the mud on the stage, was amazing. Oh, I'm gonna go this way, actually. I gotta go. Oh, man. And the moon. Holy crap, the moon is beautiful tonight. It's a full moon. I don't know if I can zoom in. I know there's a way to zoom in. I'm just not 100% sure how to do this. Nope, I can't. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm gonna get a Red Bull so I can open my lungs up a little bit, and then we're going to get into a good conversation tonight about the economics of comics, what determines the value, what determines the value and grade. I don't know if I lost Alex. I might have lost Alex. I know we disconnected twice already, which is always like, I hate the disconnects. On the inflection points. All right, Alex is here. We're gonna have a good conversation. Let me just get I want to get Red Bull just so the caffeine helps open up my blood vessels in my lungs. And then I'll have a good conversation because I'm feeling a little bit of a struggle to pull the air in right now. Yeah, I mean, the subway is just how you get around. Okay, so you're interested in just in general how prices... Well, I had this conversation a little bit live on just all the different ways that people collect comics. Now, some people collect to read. So the idea of spending more than like $5 on a comic book seems like insane, right? Someone sees a Fantastic Four 48 for $1,000 for a coverless copy. They're like, what the heck is this? So they'll buy a reprint of that. So you're not talking about those people. People that buy comics to read and enjoy them, to actually consume them. And think of it as... There's only so much comics you can consume at one time, 1 week, 1 year. So that's the limit of that person's budget, is they don't usually want to buy more than they can read. So that person, the person that buys to read, is going to dig out dollar bins, maybe pay $5 for new issues. And for them, it's just an enjoyable process of reading. And their value is not how much the comic is worth, but how much joy they can get out of the comic book. So they'll read their books to death. They'll just destroy them reading them over the years, and that doesn't matter. They're getting their value by reading them. When I buy collections from people that are like that, their comics will be destroyed, and they're usually just happy to get whatever. They're just trying to get rid of them because at that point they were done reading them and enjoying them. So that person is not buying a $1,000 book. Oh man, this store is closed. I'm not even going to talk about graded pops because anyone paying a premium for a graded pop is like an idiot, honestly. That's just how I feel. That's my philosophy on graded pops. Just unless you're buying a Gem Mint 10 perfect pop box, but even then, pops get loose in their boxes. No, we close at like 7 every night, 7 or 8. Oh no, you're right. You mean that's the shop? That shop, yeah. It makes no sense that they're closed right now, especially with the amount of people in the neighborhood. Maybe they're out celebrating though. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next set of people. Let me get into the deli though. I really need to get a Red Bull. I forgot to grab one before I started. I think I have cash in my pocket. I hope I have cash in my pocket. Better have cash in my pocket. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go low key for a second while I do this. Oh. I got my Red Bull, but my stabilizer went funky. I gotta fix it. Hello. Hello. Crazy stabilizer time. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. While I drink this, you guys can enjoy some baked goods. Oh, it's busy too. They're selling cakes today. Cakes. There we go. We can oodle. Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo in one of the more popular neighborhoods in New York City for party life. Obviously, everyone's coming here to have a fun time tonight. All this looks good. I love looking at the pastries. Every time I walk by, I just want to eat it all. Oh my gosh. They do have a few things that are gluten-free, and they have really good gluten-free pudding that I can eat. I absolutely love. Yeah, this stuff is so good. So good. I eat a lot of cheesecake because I can eat cheesecake without the crust, crustless cheesecake. Sometimes I eat it with the crust, but I don't eat the crust part. Okay, let me adjust that. Okay, let's see what everyone says. Okay, okay. So the value of pops, if they're graded high grade, people are paying premiums, like $500 for a $10 pop. It's ridiculous. Do you enjoy comics to read, or do you collect for investment? I'll cover that topic in a second. Yeah, I love the cakes. Okay, so I'm gonna drink my Red Bull. We're gonna start this conversation. It's gonna be a long comic night though, because I love this topic and it's something I can talk about all the time. But Alex just wants to know what makes the difference. Like, what point? Because there's a lot of comic books where the difference between a 4 and a 6 is very small, but then a 7 kind of skyrockets, and then an 8 just goes through the roof. Oh, I can't tell what's going on with traffic tonight. It's too crazy in the neighborhood. Too crazy. I know, it's so delicious. It's a really good bakery. Like, what they make is amazing. Their the rice pudding they make is fantastic. So, I guess first I'll just talk about graded pops in a little bit. I might grade some of my pops to sell if people start paying like a super premium for them. But I've seen some pops that are grading at $9.8 that are like $10 ones that people are paying $500. It's almost like a scam. I know late night bakery, especially, I don't know, just being able to get like a nice delicious piece of cake at 11 o'clock at night, it's amazing. I love rice pudding, it's my favorite. And I can eat it without getting sick. We'll cross this way. Okay, so I talk about people who collect for the utility of comic books. Imagine you're a connoisseur of coffee. And you like once a day, I get a Red Bull, but let's say once a day you get a nice $5 latte in the morning and maybe another cup of the day. You love your daily coffee. You have one or two. So that kind of person is the person that buys the read and won't pay more. Now, let's say you're a person who absolutely loves coffee, and so you buy yourself a really expensive coffee maker, like $1,000 espresso machine. That's the kind of person that might, in comic terms, someone who loves to buy graded comics or for the cover art, and it's not so much about, like, they love to read them, but they're investing more money because they love the whole, like, everything about comics. They're not just about reading them, but enjoying the art, enjoying what they look for. And then you can go another level. Think of like a person who opens up a coffee shop. Not only do they want to drink coffee, and not only do they want to make coffee, but they want to sell coffee, and they want to look for new types of coffee, and they want to try new coffee, and they spend a lot of time with coffee, and they spend a lot of money on coffee, but then they make a lot of money selling coffee. That's going to be more of the collector investor who buys and sells, but also absolutely loves collecting, but they also sell. And then think of the person who explores the world looking for the best coffee, and they buy and they find rare coffee beans from another part of the world, and they buy it and then they sell it to coffee houses and they become a distributor. That's someone who maybe creates comics, or that's someone who hunts for the rarest comics. And then you might have another layer where you're someone who creates a big giant coffee making company, your Folgers. That might be your Marvel, your distributor. So the way people look in comics, there's different types of people. So some people that like to just have their daily cup of coffee, if they see someone who buys bags and bags of coffee, they're like, what is this idiot? Why are you spending $100 on a bag of coffee? But they're not thinking beyond their one cup of coffee they drink a day. Okay. I mean, pops do get valued a little bit if they're really damaged. But for the most part, people aren't paying a premium for the most perfect pops. They just, either it's damaged or it's not. Is it like we just said? Pops are either damaged or they're not damaged. And so it's just like, some people want the most perfect boxes. So what's going to happen is there might be people that start overpaying, or the market's going to just die down. So graded pops is just going to be a stupid waste of time. So when it comes to grading, in my opinion, wait, I got to restabilize it because it's like jumping around. Okay, I think we're good here. When it comes to grading comics, I don't grade comics. I've never sent one in. And so because of that, my friend Sean makes fun of me because he thought I didn't like grading comics, because I always told him it's a waste to grade comics. It's basically, let's say you own something already. Then you spend money to still own it, but have it in like a nicer case. Like, doing that often just seems like a waste of money to me, because I still own the comic book, and I'm the one who likes comics in all forms, so I like to read them and look at them too. And so the 20 or 30 bucks to grade something is money I'm just paying to regrade something I already have and not make it better, right? It's just a better way to say, hey, I agree with the grade of this condition. Now, I'm pretty good at grading books. I can generally tell. I've actually had big arguments with people in grading that don't know how to grade. Like I've been at Comic Cons where a person will have a comic with a busted staple that looks really nice. I'm like, oh, what is that? Probably like a 5.5. And they're like, no, dude, that's like an 8.0, 9.0. I'm like, yeah, but once the staple's busted, you can't get to 8 or 8.5 or 9. So it's just like, if you learn how to grade, the grading doesn't matter as much. But also, if you can buy stuff ungraded for a much lower price, then you're allowed to make some mistakes and you're not losing out. Because if you can buy 10 comics for the cost of a 9.8, and the 10 you buy all look really nice, maybe they're not a 9.8, maybe they're only 9.6s. But you're getting way more comic for your money, and if you're going to invest in that, I think you'll get better return having 9 or 10 raw copies than one nice 9.8 copy. Now, Alex, did you get back? Yeah, I kind of want to know how your experience was. And also back in the day, it used to be that you could buy raw and save money. So the raw book you maybe get for a fraction of the graded book. But then people started selling raw books close to, so now there's not much difference between a graded 5.0 and a raw 4.5 to 6.0, like kind of around that general. The prices are going to be very similar. So at that point, if you're going to pay the same price, I just buy the graded one, because to me, it's all about the savings. It's not about trying to prove the grade or get the best grade. I rather try to get a grade that I think is slightly better for the same price that's raw than get guaranteed 5.5. If I can buy a book I think might be a 6 or 7 for the price of the 5.5, I'm going to buy that. Because what I want is the nicest copy of the book possible for my money, not so much the grade or the ability to resell it. And the thing is also with slab books, Alex, so you're a cover lover. You love, obviously, every time we have a conversation, you're like, oh, that book was great. That book was great. So you love to read them. But you also love the condition. So, not the condition, the cover art. So I understand grading as a form of making it look really cool, because graded books look amazing. They look like beautiful little encapsulated pieces of art. So I understand that. And the thing now, though, is that because the prices are so low, there's things that I call junk slabs, or slabs that are selling for way less than the grading costs. So I'm buying a lot of stuff for like 15 to 30 bucks at 9.8 already graded. And so if I had sent in, and not like the 9.8 is going to have the value, but the 9.6 is not going to have the value. So I almost say right now, if it's a cheaper book with a beautiful cover, just buy it already graded. You're going to get it for less than the cost of buying the book and then grading it yourself. That's another reason why I don't grade stuff, because if you have a book that graded is worth 100 and a 9.8 but 30 and a 9.6, you have to make sure that's a 9.8. Otherwise, you're losing out if you send it in. But that's a whole different story. That's not what we were talking about. We were talking about what determines at what price point or what grade do people start paying way more for books. So I think that was where we left off our conversation. I just talked about is what Alex and I were just talking about for the last 20 minutes. Okay, I gotta drink more of this Red Bull. To me, it does feel like a hassle. Now, if you have a rare book or something that's definitely got a lot of value, it's probably worth grading if you're going to sell it, right? If you grade either because you want to sell it or you really enjoy the way it looks graded, it's a personal preference. I'm the kind of person who just wants more comics. So if I'm going to spend, let's say I have 25 issues to grade and it's going to cost me $500, I could go out and get a first appearance of someone in a decent grade for $500. I'd be happier having one additional really expensive comic book than all the ones I already own in a nicer slab, I guess. Or I could take that same $500 and hit a dollar bin and maybe get $2,000 worth of comics. So now I'm adding $2,000 worth of value to my collection instead of taking what I already own and just making it look nicer. Yeah, exactly. I have things that I've framed. I spent $100 to frame just because I wanted it framed. And there's some comics that I just love that would be awesome to have graded. But in today's current market, though, there's a lot of stuff that is just cheaper just to buy it. Find it as a 9.8 already, or even if you want it but you don't mind it, like a 9.0, because a 9.0 is going to almost look like a 9.6 on the wall. Get a 9.0 for the less cost than the cost to grade a comic book. It's kind of ridiculous how cheap some of those are right now. Okay, we are close to where we saw the blue cloud. I think that's where I'm heading right now. So there's some comic books, especially Silver Age books, where the difference in price between like a 4.0 and a 6.0 is a small percentage, or like a 2.0. Like we were just looking, Fantastic 448 and a 2.0 right now is worth about $1,000, and a 6.0 it's worth like $2,200. So from a 1.0 to a 2 to a 6.0, it only a little bit over doubles the value. I feel like most people that are buying the read or have a limited budget aren't buying the $1,000 copy. So, or the $1,000 copy is like you really, really want one and you don't have any money, so you have to really scrape to get that copy, and therefore you're willing to pay more just to have it. But most people that can actually afford $1,000 like regularly, they might be able to afford the $1,500 to get the, like the 4.5, or the $2,200 to get the 6.0. And the thing is, the reason why those are all, the lower end is a higher price because that's right in the edge of what people can afford. Because $1,000, if you work minimum wage, that's 2 weeks work. If you have a decent income, that's maybe a week's income. So for me, a 4.0, 4.5 is usually right on the edge of, it'll look nice enough that it doesn't have any big rips or tears. It may occasionally have something that distracts from it. So you kind of, at a 4.5, you have to look at the book. You have to think, okay, this one looks nice enough. It just has like a little crease on the back cover, or the spine has a couple ticks. So a 4.45 is like a perfect grade for a major grail. If you can get into a 4.5 or something that might cost $5,000 in that grade, but then like $10,000, a couple grades higher, a 4.0 is lovely. 3.5, you start seeing some major flaws. 2.0 starts looking like shit. A 1.5 looks terrible. A 0.5 can look awesome, but 0.5 usually means something's missing. It's either in terrible shape or something's missing. Eric, I really want a Vampirella 1. I want to look really nice though. So if I could get unslabbed one, but it looks really nice for $1,000, I would buy it. Yeah, I'm happy with ungraded comics. I have hundreds of grails ungraded. I have my Amazing Spider-Man 129 is not graded. My 3 Iron Man 55 is ungraded. My Iron Man 1 is ungraded. I literally have hundreds of major grails that are ungraded. And I have no desire to send them in to get graded. Because, I'm happy to kind of open them up and look at them. Yeah, everything in the 90s. All right, here, let me tell you a funny story on that. And I still have to continue Alex's story of we're the inflection point, because it's all a supply and demand thing. But I gotta tell you about the value of 90s stuff. So when I was growing up, by the late 80s, all my parents' generation, all their stuff was thrown in the trash and destroyed. It was recycled, because comics and all that stuff was disposable. You didn't buy a comic book to put in a box in a bag. You bought the read, share with your friend, fold it in half, put it in your back pocket, and get rid of it. So stuff from the 60s just became completely destroyed. Stuff from the 50s and earlier, completely destroyed. In the 1940s, during World War II, they had big giant paper drives where almost all the comics got recycled. So you get comics from the early 40s, late 30s that they produced in the millions. Like today's standard would be a super overprint. And they destroyed almost all of them to recycle for the war effort. And then in the 50s, we had the big Red Scare. We had Wortham's Seduction of the Innocent, where they were saying, comic books were seducing the youth. So they would have big bonfires and they would burn up all these Golden Age books to prove a point how evil they were. And bags and boards started in about 1970, but they were really expensive and a very niche product. So comics before then really weren't preserved. So there's only a small handful of really high grade comics from the 50s and earlier, and most of those come from what do you call it, pedigree collections. And a pedigree collection is usually a collection that was a single buyer that had bought them at the newsstand, and they did something to preserve them in high grade. So for instance, the Miles High collection, it was bought by a guy named Edgar Church. He was an illustrator. So he started buying one of every comic book as influence to help with the illustration business, or his illustration skills. He would use them to study the way people drew. So he bought one of everything, and then he just stacked them up in his basement. And he was in Colorado, where the climate was like perfect. So the basement wasn't wet and moldy. It was dry and cool. So he just had the comics stacked up in giant stacks all over the basement. And the farther you went through the stacks, the older the comics got. So because of the atmosphere and the conditions and the fact that he bought it, looked at it, and then he just put it in a stack carefully without really reading it. All those comic books are in like 9.4s, 9.6s, 9.8s. And you're talking about like Action Comics 1, Superman 1, Batman 1. All these comics are worth millions of dollars today. And there's only 3 or 4 of those comics over a 9 in the world. They are mega rare they have in that condition. Or the Promise collection that sold last year. That was an amazing collection that 2 brothers went to war during the Korean War. And the one brother had a cool comic collection of maybe like 5,000 comics. Oh, someone marked the time. What is it? 3632. 3632. Mark that. There's a stoop sale. I got to go. 3632. There's also one right here. Ooh. Video games, records, clothes, sports cars. All right. Someone in the in the comments below, in the actual comments, write 3652. So I remember to check that out because I want to check those out tomorrow. Oh yeah, that looks like a promising sale. Okay, we can go. So the Promise collection was 2 brothers that went to war during the Korean War, and the one brother asked his brother. I'm streaming right now, so I can't screenshot. So just give me the time, then I can come back. Put that in the comments below, like in the actual video, so when it's done in streaming, I can actually look for it, so I can remember where it was. So the Promise collection, it was 2 brothers. They went to the Korean War. The one brother had like 5,000 awesome comics. And he asked his brother, he said, if something happens to me while we're out war, and if you make it, can you take care of my comic books? So the one brother that had the comic books gets killed in the war. So the one brother spends the next 60, 70 years just keeping the comics together as nice as possible, mint condition, and that collection was preserved. So that collection had a lot of like 8 to 9.8. So and a lot of times he had some good girl art and things that weren't collected as much. They're in the highest grade known in the world. So when you get the Golden Age stuff, think of all that. Almost anything above a 5 is like non-existent. It's Golden Age stuff. It's really hard to get stuff above a 5. I'm looking for I think it's Archie number 8. It's this beautiful surreal cover where Betty is in the garden farming and Archie's a flower. I absolutely love the cover. I've been looking for years for about a 5.0. And then I recently realized I think there's no 5.0. I think the highest grade is maybe a 5.5, but then everything else below that, it's like a 2 and 3. So for that comic book, a 5.0 is like a 9.8. The 5.0 is going to cost, tens of thousands of dollars. And the 2.0s are going to be the ones that are like $300 or $400. It's really crazy to me. Put it in that, not the chat though, in the actual comments, because the chat will be hard for me to find later on. So what is my point? So 1970 is when they did make bags and boards. You could get them. You'll see ads for them where it's like $5 for a package of 100. So remember, this is 1970 where comics were still 12 to 15 cents. So $5 is the equivalent of buying 30 comics. So think of today, 30 comics at $4 each is $120. So basically you could buy bags and boards for the equivalent of $100 per 100. So $1 a piece. So they were expensive. A lot of people did not. And I don't even know, it might have just been bags to begin with. Maybe it wasn't even boards. So comics really didn't get preserved very well during the 70s. So by the late 70s, they started getting preserved a little bit because that's really when comic shops started becoming a thing. Before that, they really weren't a thing. And so you get to my generation, growing up in the 80s, my parents' stuff got destroyed. So by the 70s, you started having comics like Action Comics, 15 going, Amazing Fantasy 15 going for like thousands of dollars. You had Action Comics like Superman #1. All those things going for thousands of dollars. So all these people are like, oh, my mom, I had that. My mom threw it away. I had that. My dad threw it away. Oh, my mom, destroyed that. When I was at college, it was gone. I don't think so. We just do it in this neighborhood. You might get in trouble. My friend Darren once got arrested for vandalizing, putting up a sticker for me. That was another night, another story. I could tell again in the future. Tonight we're talking about comics. So by the late 80s into the 90s, every parent was like, you gotta keep your stuff. It's gonna be worth a fortune. Let's not throw it out. Let's keep it. So by the late 80s into the 90s, they started overproducing stuff for speculators. They started making millions of copies of X-Men 1, Spider-Man 1, Spawn 1. And everyone bought 50 of them and preserved them in bags and boards and put them in their closets to keep them because they're going to be rich. So everything was destroyed. I mean, not destroyed. Everything was preserved. So now you have an era where everything was kept in mint condition. So now, 1962 is the first Spider-Man. 82 is only 20 years later. It's thousands of dollars. So now you're in 92, 2000. So 2012 would be 20 years later. So if the same exact thing had happened, all that stuff from the late 80s and the 90s would be worth thousands of dollars. But it wasn't, because there was too much supply and not enough demand. So when you think of the 90s, people say, oh, that's Beanie Babies. Why? Because Beanie Babies were preserved in the millions, and they were in high grade. They're worthless. People say comics back then. Comics were collected and preserved in the millions. All that generation stuff, my generation and my childhood, most of that stuff was preserved, so it's not worth anything. Now, the things that are worth something, cereal boxes. If I had kept all my 1980s cereal boxes, my Count Chocula, my Captain Crunch, my Fruit Loops, those are worth $100 to $500 for a beat-up copy, because they don't exist. There's only a handful of each left in the world. If I had all my toys, my Transformers, my G.I. Joes, all those in mint condition are worth hundreds of dollars each. It's the stuff that gets destroyed that has strong nostalgia value, that has a lot of value long term. So to find a high grade G.I. Joe figure from 1982 is going to cost you $1,000. Yeah, it has no value. So let me tell you another story. So my generation starts having kids. I was 22, and by the late 90s. So by the late 90s, Marvel had crashed. Beanie Babies were out and you're almost dead. So you have this time in the late 90s where everyone's like, it's not worth collecting this stuff because it's trash, it's worthless, and never went up in value. So by the late 90s, the mentality stopped. People stopped hoarding onto stuff in droves. So what came out? Let's think. I'm gonna see if someone can say what from the late 90s that kid would have loved. Recently, in the last few years, had insane high values. You tell me something from the late 90s that had insane high value. Something that should have been common because all the kids had it. Yeah, Alex got it for Harry Potter because Harry Potter is amazing nostalgia, and no one kept them. They all got ripped open and destroyed and enjoyed. But what else from the late 90s? I'm gonna see if someone can say it. Waiting. Tickle Me Elmo. No, Tickle Me Elmo is, you have to think, nostalgia that has value is never for little kids. So anything between the ages of 0 and maybe 6 really does not have value in your childhood. If you had something when you were 6 years old that you absolutely loved, you want that one you had as a child, but you don't want a replacement for it. It's the stuff you got between the ages of 7 and 12. That's where the real nostalgia hits. That's the stuff that people pay for. Now, video games. People buy video games. They destroyed them. Nintendo 64, yes. All right, here's the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. The number one most nostalgic popular thing from the late 90s that was destroyed, that was played with in kids in the schoolyards, Pokemon. Pokemon. Everyone had Pokemon. Pokemon was not kept in high condition. People didn't hoard onto Pokemon. By then, no one was holding on to them. So there's very few unopened boxes of original Pokemon. And guess what? The kids that have become rich since then, that grew up with Pokemon, they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a sealed base set first edition box. Yeah, I like to share my information. So I always say the things of value from today, like in Funko Pops, Five Nights at Freddy's, kids love that shit. Fortnite, kids love that shit. Think of the stuff that the kids like in 10, 20 years, all the Marvel Pops, except for maybe some Miles Morales or something that really connects with the kids today, that stuff is not going to have value. But if Five Nights at Freddy's. People might be spending thousands of dollars on it because every time I buy Five Nights at Freddy's, the boxes are damaged. No one's taking care of their Five Nights at Freddy pops. Oh, Melody, did you say Pokemon? Oh yeah, you're right. Melody wins. Yeah, and everyone wishes they kept their Pokemon. Why? Because it wasn't worth anything. Everyone got rid of them. They sold them. They gave them to a nephew, and they got rid of them. And most people have that mentality. I wish I had kept them. My parents were like, I wished I had kept my stuff, or my parents' generation. I wish my parents hadn't thrown away my comics, because that stuff it's not worth anything until it becomes nostalgic, until people that grew up with it have money to spend on it. So right now, you know what's happening right now? In 2010, I bought Monster High dolls. I thought they were awesome. You show me every single on YouTube, every collector, they open up every single one. They make big, beautiful walls of Monster High dolls. People do not keep those mint in box. And I have a full set I have multiple sets of all of them. And now that everyone that was 10 years old in 2010, they're 22, 23, they're finishing college, they're getting their first jobs. Those values are exploding. In 10 years, Monster High dolls, they're going to be tens of thousands of dollars for the best ones. The best ones right now are already $2,500. Yeah, the earliest pops, people bought them as a cheap $10 toy, not because they had value, but because they were cheap and fun. So they would buy the pops, they would open them up, throw the box out, and they only printed, we got another, holy crap, look at this yard sale, look what they're using. So we have a Evil Dead book, we have a Infinity Gauntlet, we have a Wilson ball. Wow, that looks like a cool, all right, someone date stamp this too. I think we know what we're doing tomorrow. We're walking the neighborhood for yard sales. So 4756, just write it into the comments, because that's right up below that one. That's just bingo. Wow, the garage sales look good. So far we have 2 or 3 to look for. But yeah, those earliest pops, they probably only made about 500 of each, and they threw them out the boxes. So half that, 5,000 of each, half that 5,000 are what lives, and the remaining boxes of the 5,000, only a small portion of those are in mint condition. Now Pogs, I don't know. I think Pogs just never really, they weren't nostalgic enough to really have a long-term value. All right, thanks, Alex. I appreciate you. I'm waiting. We got a lot of traffic here. Don't want to be run over for the chat. Don't need to be run over. Okay, so having this whole long conversation, I'm coming back to Alex's question about, like, what is the inflection point that determines when the values really shoot up a thing. So I want you to think about the early 70s, where some people started having, thank you, Alex, I appreciate it. Some people started having protective sleeves and stuff for their comics. Some people, so think of someone who collected comics by the late 70s. If you watch on YouTube, there are videos of comic shops and collectors. So by the late 70s, people started appreciating, early 70s, people started appreciating comics as a collectible. And there was some value. Oh, hey, Will. So by the early 70s, there were people trying to keep their comics in nice shape. But imagine a comic book that you're trying to keep in nice shape, but you don't have bags and boards. So you have a box of comic books, everything's kind of minty. Over time, they flip and flop a little bit, you pull them in and out, they get a little beat up. So a comic from the late 60s, early 70s, and generally kept in good shape is going to be like a 7.0, 8.0. Because they weren't bags and boards, people tried to be careful with them, but they couldn't keep them absolutely mint. So there's somewhere in that era where early 70s, late 60s, where once you hit that 6, 7.0 point, it becomes extremely rare for the conditions above that. So what happens is there'll be a lot of supply of stuff up to a 6. So there might be a ton of 1.0s, a ton of 2.0s, a ton of 3.0s, a ton of 4.0s, a ton of 5.0s, a ton of 6.0s, a ton of 7.0s. Then you hit an 8.0. There's only a few hundred. You hit a 9.0, there's a few dozen. You hit a 9.6, there's 4. You hit a 9.8, there's 1, 4, 5. Very, very limited. So what happens is people with enough money to buy, they want as best as they can get, but they can't really afford the rare one. They'll buy the 6.0 for $2,200-$2,400. But from other people, that's just too much money, but they really, really want to have that, that comic in their collection. So they'll pay a bit more for a 5.0 or a bit more for a 4.0 just to have it. So what happens is those low grades actually have a little bit higher value than they should, just because that's what people can afford. And then the higher grade, but not the highest grades, are right at the edge of, it's going to be like $2,200 because that's the best you can get for little money, but it's not the rare one. So the people with real rare type money, they're going to pay $5,000 for the 8.0. They're going to pay $10,000 for the 9.0. So what happens is those really high grades are super limited. So there's only dozens or maybe 100 for everyone in the world to compete for. And so that's why those ones go for way much more money. Whereas anything at like a 6.0, 7.0 is going to go for a more affordable price, just because the difference between $1,500 and $2,000 for the average person is a lot of money. So they're going to buy the 4 or 5 because that's all they can afford. Or they might save up really hard to get the 6.0 for $2,500. But the person who has a ton of money is going to want to get the 9.0 or the best. They want to show off that they have the #1 copy. They want to be like that cool kid with the 9.8, only one in the world of a comic that everyone really loves. Because it's all about kind of the bragging rights. For me, when I buy keys, I like to find those inflection points so I can get the highest, nicest looking copy that's still affordable. So I'll buy a 7.0 or something if I think it's 1/3 the price of an 8.0. Because the difference between a 7.0 and an 8.0 is going to be very small. It's just going to be like 1 spine tick less or 2 spine ticks less. So it's going to be such a small difference that I rather have 2 amazing comics kind of in really highest grade than 1 highest grade one for like an investment purpose, because I don't get more value having a better grade if that better grade costs the fact that I have to not get another comic. I'd rather have 2 7.0s of 2 different comics than 1 8.0 if I can. So when a really, really, really high grade breaks records, what happens is it influences the market so that everyone who sees the 9.8 like go for record prices, let's say it was going for $500,000, now it's $1 million. People will go out and they'll overpay for whatever they can get. So a lot of times you'll see those low grades kind of spike up like crazy increases. So if like a 9.8 doubles in price, the 1.0, 2.0 might actually like triple in price. It actually, honestly, investing in lower grade ones is probably a better money return long term. Just because you can spread out the diversity between many issues or different comics, and it's a lot easier to sell a $1,000 comic than it is a $100,000 comic. $100,000 is a whole different audience. A $10 comic, everyone can buy that. A $1 comic book, not everyone wants it. So there's going to be a certain type of comic book in the $10 to $30 range that's desirable, that everyone wants, that's easy to sell, that'll beat out a cheap dollar book that no one wants, or a $1 million book that no one can afford. So honestly, those like $10 to $20 books are great places to park money. And investing in key issues that are like $100 to $200 is also a great place to park money. But for my own personal collection, I try to get the nicest looking grade I can get for the price I can afford. Okay, Retro. So again, there's a lot to do with the utility. Oh, we got people hanging out, getting ready to go into this club here. I didn't realize there's a club right here. Hey, Darren. So, $50 to $100, you have to think of it in terms of people's time, right? So in New York, minimum wage is $15. So after taxes, you might get like 12. So if you work 8 hours in a day, that's what, $100? $100 for that day. Then you take out the cost of your living, your food, all that. You end up with $20 in your pocket that you can spend for that day. You spend a whole week, 5 days a week. $20 left over, you have $100 in your pocket. What happens? You can go buy one beautiful comic at $100, or maybe it's $50. $200, you have to think about it. You can't buy it that week. You have to wait a week. $500, you might have to wait a month. And people don't like to wait. People want to spend their money when they get it. A lot of people are impulsive. If you got $20 in your pocket, you kind of want to go out and buy a comic to read or enjoy. So it's going to be because of with the minimum wage and all that, I think $100 sounds like a good, like this is a guess. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but I feel like $100 book is right on the edge of what a person can afford that is making a $500 or $600 a week income. And that's, I think the majority, I think 70-80% of the US population makes that income or less. It's a huge percentage. A lot of people in the country do not make a lot of money. So that's probably where that like $50 to $100 limit kind of hits. And the thing is also, if you're buying a $50 or $100 book, you're only buying one a week. You're not buying, tons of those. And so as I collect, I don't make that much income. What I do make is I buy and sell a lot of stuff. So I make a lot of revenue, not profit. But what I do is I buy things, they go up in value. I sell those things, and then I buy more things. And I keep cycling through. I get rid of stuff that I don't want anymore, or I think is a duplicate that I don't think will go up in value, or that kind of thing. And then I recycle it back into a bunch of other stuff that I think is just the most amazing deal I can find. All right. Whew. All right, I'm going to take a break for a second. I think, Alex, does that make sense? Do you have any more questions? Like, guide the conversation a little bit.
If you're ready,
Yeah, I get paid in comics and collectibles and that kind of stuff, basically. I just keep recycling the same money over and over again that I made in 1998. Because I haven't had a job since 1998. I've been self-employed, just buying and selling since then.
No, Alex. Yeah.
Why are you guys leaving me?
This
all I
man
said
is
was
filming.
shocking.
All right, Darren, it's been a fun, busy night. We're talking comics. We're talking about different inflection points of why certain comics stop selling at $50 or $100, why certain comics are worth $2,000, and other ones go up like extremely rare. You also have to think of supply and demand. Hulk 181, there's a lot of them out there, and a lot of them in high grade. So Hulk 181 doesn't really get affected by the supply thing. What happens with Hulk 181 is you can almost predict the value by the point. So the difference between an 8 and 9, point-wise, is about the same between a 7 and an 8, etc. Yeah, life is short. It's not. I'm not trying to say like how you should spend your money. I'm trying to say how people get money is how it affects the prices of things. For me, I want it all. Like right now, I'm actually so stressed out because there's so many amazing prices on comics. I want to buy them all, but my store sales are really slow right now, so I don't have as much cash coming in. I actually just sold in the stock market. I just sold $7,000 worth of stock at a $5,000 loss, so that I can use that loss as a write-off, and I'm gonna just stick that $5,000 into comics. I feel more confident putting $5,000 into some Grail books than or restocking my store with stuff. I'm going to buy stickers, I think, this week. Restocking my shop with stuff that I can double my money on. I feel way more confident than just leaving it in the stock market right now. I'm not confident in everything. All these banks crashing left and right. I'm just not confident leaving my money in there because I don't understand how that works very well myself. I'm not really a investment person. So I'd rather take my little loss in the stock market and stick it in something I know I can double my money. I can buy Pokemon cards, which sell really well in my shop. I could buy stickers. I can buy some Grail comics to hold on to. All right. What is this? A new Hulu show? I wonder if this show is any good. Anyone heard of this one? It's called Saint X. It looks kind of fun and awesome. All right, hold on. I gotta readjust here. Readjust. My hand is cramping. Okay, there we go. Okay. Ooh. Did I lose chat? You guys still here? I feel like I lost chat. Hey, Retro, welcome back. Why is this? This is all acting funny. There we go. We'll do that. All right. I gotta finish this Red Bull so I can hold the thing with my other hand. You guys are having a funny... Well, you can watch the replay, Darren. I might actually do a daytime stream if I might try to take a little nap overnight so I can do those garage sales or go to Streetside Anthony's. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do tomorrow. was getting kind of bummed out because I'm on the wrong schedule for the daytime, but now I'm like excited to go to 2 sales I saw, especially the one that looked like it had a bunch of geeky, nerdy stuff. All right, we're heading back this way. Yeah, Alex, I might do that tomorrow. I might do the pop-up walks. I might actually just do that on the main channel. I'm not sure. I kind of want to though, because it looks like it would be fun. I like an awesome live stream. I kind of miss doing garage sales and stuff. And yeah, Free Comic Book Day. That's the other thing. I didn't go to Action City to film it, and like I feel bad. I'm out of it. I feel kind of sad. Like I get sad over these things. There's only so much day in the day. Okay, that's a good question, Retro. So what happens is you form the strongest nostalgic memory. Like if you think of the stuff you like the most, is probably something that you had as a kid between ages of 7 and 12. For me, it's G.I. Joe and Transformers and comic books. That's why I absolutely loved when they're, and Ziggy of course. So Ziggy, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and comic books. Those are my favorite things. So those are my strongest connections. So what happens is when you turn 13 or around 13, give or take a little bit, you grow up and you think all that stuff is childish and you kind of lose your interest in that. Maybe you went into video games, maybe you got into music, maybe you got into girls or boys. Maybe, you did things that were different. So you weren't nostalgic for that stuff anymore. It was more life decisions. It was no longer about pop culture or things. Then 10 years later, you're done with college. If you went to college, that is. 23 years old, you have your first job, you start having some money, and you think, you know what? I remember that Christmas I didn't get that toy I wanted. I'm disappointed. Oh, it's $10 on eBay. Let me buy it. So then you start buying that stuff, and everyone starts buying that stuff. And that stuff goes up in value because the few that are out there, they dry up. Because you know what? No one kept your childhood. Your childhood, kids, adults don't keep childhood stuff. They keep their childhood, not their kids' childhood. So then that stuff dries up and goes up in value. Then what does the companies do? They see this increased demand. It's like, oh my gosh, Pokemon is popular again. It's been, 20 years. So then they make collectibles for the adults. Those adult collectibles that are made, like the modern day Pokemon and stuff, that won't go up in value. The reason why that won't go up in value is because if you're nostalgic for Pokemon and you have a limited budget, you will buy the adult collectible thing that was made for that market. But if you have a lot of money to spend, you're not going to spend it on that. You're going to buy the originals that you grew up with. Oh yeah, I also loved He-Man. So He-Man is a perfect example. He-Man, 12 years ago, wasn't worth anything. Once it got to about 87, 89, 2007. So it took about 25 years, but then He-Man has exploded in value recently. But it's the original He-Man. Now, some of the stuff from the early 2000s is also old enough that's gained some value as well. So yeah, retro is cool. So I always tell people, don't invest in the stuff that they market to you as an adult. It happened with Barbie dolls in the 90s. They made fancy Barbie dolls that are worthless. They were $100 retail. Now you can buy them for $10. It happened with G.I. Joe figures. They made 12-inch figures in the 90s for the kids that grew up in the 60s. Those are worthless. Anything that they make to be nostalgic will never have value. So those big expensive Pokemon cards coming out right now most likely won't have the same value as Charizard. They're the price they are now, and they're going to stick there. Unless in 10 or 20 years, the kids that grew up with that decide that's the stuff they really, really want. So it's always the era of stuff that kids liked that become valuable, not the stuff. In the 90s, they made Star Wars toys that was to appeal to the kids that grew up in the 70s, because we were in our early 20s then. That stuff is worthless because they made a lot of it and everyone kept them in mint condition. Whereas if I had spent all my money on, let's say, Power Rangers, Sailor Moon, all the stuff that kids were playing with in the 90s, or Pokemon, if I had invested heavily in Pokemon, I would be a millionaire today. So if you're a heavy collector, you have kids, pay attention to what your kids are into and collect for them a little bit. Put your money into extra. If you buy them a gift for Christmas, buy them 2. 1 to put away. Because by the time they're 25, it's going to be worth something and you'll be ready to retire. That's what I did with the cool kid. I have hundreds of toys that I've bought from that he got for Christmas that we have mint condition ones put away. So when he's 25, he can, we can make the decision together whether he wants to be a collector or we just sell him and help him with whatever down payment on a house, pay off college, that kind of stuff. I have a collector advice channel called PopFuzz to Play. I gave all kinds of advice, but usually the advice stuff doesn't do that popular. All I did was give collecting tips all the time when I first started out. Well, the newer He-Mans are made for adult collectors because there's no 10-year-olds that see He-Man and go, holy crap, it's He-Man, I love that. My son doesn't give a crap about He-Man. It's the 47-year-olds that love He-Man. I love He-Man. So the modern stuff, it's not mass-produced. They might only make 10 or 20,000, all the new He-Man stuff. It's not mass-produced at all. The only problem is that all 10 or 20,000 is bought by adult collectors and put away and kept in mint condition. They're not being destroyed. They're not being worn out. Yeah, I can usually tell someone's age by what they geek out over. I love doing it. I always predict usually within a couple years pretty correctly. Like someone will come in and they'll see, Garbage Pail Kids. I'm like, oh yeah, you're probably born mid to late 70s. They're like, yeah, I was born in 81 or 80 or 79. Or someone will come in and they'll geek out over Tamagotchi, right? I've seen people geek out over Tamagotchi. I'm like, oh, you were born in 92. Yeah, because I played with it when I was 8 or 9 years old. Happens all the time. So it's really not how much they produce. Honestly, people say Funko Pop overproduced, but Funko is a small company next to Hasbro and Mattel. Hasbro and Mattel make way more toys. I think they're like 2 to 10 times bigger than Funko. The only problem is Funko makes so many different things and everyone keeps them in condition, whereas kids destroy their toys. So you don't see giant walls of unopened Barbie dolls or unopened Fortnite figures or whatever. So it's that stuff that the kids are playing with now that will be worth something in 10, 20 years. Not the stuff we're buying as adults. Well, you are a utility collector, and I appreciate that. It's always say, like, come back to coffee. Imagine if you're someone who bought coffee and you didn't drink it. You just put it in the freezer. You buy a cup of coffee and you never drank it, right? You get no value out of that cup of coffee. Even if it's possibly might be worth $20 down the road. You're getting no life value out of it. You're not getting any utility value out of that. Whereas if you open it up and display, you're getting, no, it's not really good for long-term value, but it's fantastic for your own enjoyment of life. Really, you had some? To me, it's not that I've been drinking for 20 years. It's so odd that you've never had that before. Did you have one? Because I think they're fantastic. All right, I gotta adjust this. My thing is all like crooked and sideways right now. Oh, wait, no, okay. This has been actually a really fun topic to me. I think I explained it, Alex, enough that you kind of understand. But if you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, that's the thing. There's those people that collect for utility. They usually don't collect as much. Like I have people that will come into the comic channel and they're like, how are you ever going to read 100,000 comics? And I'm not buying, my utility of the comics is not reading them. That's not where I'm getting the value. Actually, I barely read them. My utility is making videos, right? I like to collect in a way that I get to share it with people. So when I actually create a video and that video is something that people watch and enjoy, that's the value I get out of loading the comics. When I do the hunt where I'm looking for specific issues and like that, the actual hunt itself is my utility that I get out of values. It's cool. And I can give you, if you ever want to see some stats or number, you guys, I send Alex pictures of charts like twice a week at least. I'm like, this is why I'm saying this, Alex. Here's evidence. This is why I think this way. Here's a chart. Because I'm addicted to statistics and charts and like trying to figure out how things work. It's just how my brain works. I think very logically like that. I try to be like, what I think is Y, does something happen, and then I think, okay, let me try to figure out why, and then I discuss it. Sometimes I'm wrong. And that's the one thing I always say to people is, it's good to know that you don't know everything, because anyone who thinks they know everything has no room to learn. So if you think you know everything, you're not going to learn anything. If you think you know nothing, then you can constantly learn. I should read more, honestly. I would love to read more. I'm so busy all the time that I just don't have time to read. I did show on my comic live stream 2 nights ago or last night. I showed 2 mangas I actually read, and I showed why I enjoy reading manga over. Oh yeah, chocolate mocha frappuccino. That is delicious. So I don't have a storage unit, and I don't understand storage unit collecting, because what happens is everything I do, like the other night when I bought that Starbucks, I showed how I paid in cash because there's a 3% fee, so I saved 12 cents. A lot of times the storage units cost more than the pops are worth. So if you get to a point where you have to pay for your collection and what you're paying is a lot more than they could possibly be worth, that makes no sense to me. Then you're just wasting money and you're wasting space because you're not enjoying them. You're not gaining value. You're just throwing money away. Yeah, exactly. My house is a storage unit until I sleep in. And then if I have, that's why I got bummed out. I had to stop collecting pops because I had no more room, and I refused to pay for a storage unit. Because if I get to that point, then it felt like I'm throwing money away. I don't want to do that. But yeah, the hunt is where, to me, the hunt is 90% of the fun. 70 to 90%. It's not the owning of the stuff, it's the finding the amazing deals. And that's why it's cool to have a shop, because I could sell some of it and not have it pile up. But it does pile up because I buy so much, because I constantly finding deals. It's like, you see a pile of free money, how much of that free money do you take? If someone says, take it all, you go, okay, I'm only going to take half of it. I'm going to leave some, or I'm going to take one bill. Or you take the whole stack and then you move on. It's like, how do you do that? Alex, you'll be invited definitely on day one. I would love to do the museum. Because, I mean, there's some things like my Ziggy stuff that's never going to be sold. I have no plan. In fact, in 2004, I started collecting all the other stuff I love, thinking I need something to sell when I'm old. Because I'm like, I'm never going to sell the Ziggy stuff. I have no desire to sell the Ziggy stuff. So what else could I collect and buy? So that's why I started getting into other retro toys and stuff. Okay. Trying to see if I missed anyone's comments. There's a lot of comments coming in, but I love this. This is fantastic. I love when we have a big, long conversation at night. It's awesome. The manga I showed Miss Koyazami Loves Ramen. I absolutely love that manga. It wasn't really much of a story other than it's more like little snippets. But I love the character, and what I really loved is how they drew, when she would eat her ramen, they'd make it into like a Dragon Ball Z fight. So it had all the action lines and stuff. And like, to me, I would laugh because it's so awesome. Okay, you I mean, I keep stuff in banker boxes, right? There's the street candy. I gotta look. It's empty. It's not full of Funko Pops or anything awesome. I'm trying to adjust this. I gotta go down. I don't know. The Ziggy market, there are things I've owned that I've been offered like stupid money for, and I have a lot of super rare, one-of-a-kind items. I just don't know how many people actually would want to buy them. But apparently there's still marketplaces for Ziggy stuff. I mean, it still sells every day on eBay and whatnot. So there are people buying it. I just don't know. I mean, here's a saying I say: for every hour you spend collecting, you have to spend at least 2 hours selling when you want to sell. And so I've been collecting for, let's see, eBay 97. So what is that? 97, 2007, 26 years. So I need 52 years to sell my Ziggy collection at full value. I don't know if that's happening. Okay. Questions here, the answer. Will, I just woke up on at 8:30, so I don't know if I'm going to bed tomorrow at like noon and then just sleeping the day. Like this time of my sleep cycle always sucks because I miss out on daytime stuff. I'm hoping to do the stoop sales though. There's like 2 or 3 in the neighborhood. A couple look like they have cool stuff. There's also that flea market thing from the other night that's supposed to be this weekend. It's also a free comic book day, so I should go there. So I might, after this live stream, I might actually try to take a 4-hour nap so I can reset for tomorrow, but that usually fails miserably. And then, but I don't know. Will, are you selling at the flea market? Or do you want to try to bring comics over? Will has a big box of comics for me to go through, but I just have to find a time when I'm actually awake. And then, okay, don't sell my comics. You can put the classic illustrateds out. Okay. I mean, I'll see. I'll take a nap. If I have the energy, maybe I'll come over. Tell me again. Actually, Will, in this video's comments, not in the chat, but in the comments, leave me the location for the flea market. And if I have the energy, I'll come say hello and check out what you got. Show you on stream and stuff. Everyone can see Will selling his goods. Okay, so we could do tomorrow afternoon as well, if you want to do it after the flea market. But yeah, leave the location for the flea market, because if I have the energy and the time, I will go. You might have to, I'm not sure. I mean, you just left comments for me twice, didn't you? Or did you just send me a direct message, Alex? Because I saw your message popped up. I don't know if that was an Instagram message or in the comments. So Will, you can also just message me on Instagram the location. Oh, you messaged me direct. Okay. Okay, well that works too. I feel like people sometimes leave me comments when the video is going. I just don't know if there's a way to do it or not. Okay, and then what do I miss? Melody asked me about Ziggy. Okay, so here's today we're gonna have my Ziggy story. You guys want my Ziggy story? Because this is a good 10-20 minute story, I think. Ziggy story time. So when I was a little boy, 4 years old. The Ziggy room is sealed and packed full of boxes of other stories. Okay, Tina wants the Ziggy story. Ziggy story. Okay, so let's see. It was 1979 Christmas. So I was a 3-year-old little boy, and my papa, he gave me, for that Christmas, he gave me a Snoopy doll. It was a Snoopy doll with like laces that you would tie up, a little jacket you could zip. It had zips, ties, and buttons, so you can learn to zip, tie, and buttons. I absolutely loved that doll. That became my thing. And my mom, growing up, loved the Peanuts. The Peanuts started right around when she was born, maybe like a couple years. So my mom grew up with Peanuts. So for her, you know, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, all those, that was her favorite. So I had that Snoopy doll. I had a blue blankie, my Linus blankie, that I brought around. I still have it somewhere. It's a big rag. So I love Snoopy. So my love of Snoopy, and then I started getting more and more Snoopy stuff. I remember one time we went to Toys R Us, and they had these Snoopy outfits that you could buy that dress up your Snoopy. I remember when I bought 2 or 3 that day. It was a Beagle Scout outfit, a Cowboy Snoopy, and the Flying Ace Snoopy, where he had the leather jacket. And hey, Marlana. And so that was the first time I ever looked at a catalog from a toy and thought I wanted everything. That's my first memory of that, like, completionist. I have to get all the outfits. So I really, really love Snoopy. Snoopy was my favorite thing back then. I remember, I'd watch the cartoons. But that's what led into my love of reading the newspaper. You know, I would start looking for the Snoopy cartoons in the newspaper every Sunday or during the week. So I love Snoopy. Bought Snoopy's. I remember there was one time in 1980 when I was 4 years old, I saw a commercial for I think it was a show or a movie called A Boy and His Dog, and it's about a kid that loses a giant, like 4 foot tall Snoopy doll. And I remember I really, really wanted it. I missed it, and like I was so upset about that. I remember crying myself to sleep because I missed it, because we had to do something as a family. And we just found it like a month ago and we actually watched it. Absolutely loved it. It's like 40 years later, 45 years later, I finally watched the thing I missed. Yeah, Snoopy is great. Yeah, Linus is fantastic as well. Oh, people are singing. We're having, oh no. Oops. We got disconnected for a second. People are singing, having a fun time. So, early on, I had a love of Snoopy, but also it became a love of the newspaper, of the Sunday comics and whatnot. Then the year was 1982 or 83, I believe. So I was 6, 7 years old. And we were at Asbury Park, New Jersey. Well, we would go to Ocean Grove each year, which was like a Christian beach resort area, whatever. And then right next to it was like a big amusement park theme, boardwalk theme park thing. Wow, there's a party going on. So we went to there, and they had all kinds of games that you would win tickets for a prize. So they had coin pushers, which I still love to this day, where you put the coin in, you push it off. Every time a coin falls off, you'd win some tokens. You had all kinds of different games. So I saved up a whole bunch of points, and I was looking. They had candy. They had stupid little things I didn't care about. And sitting in the case, there was this little bald guy with a yellow jacket, and it said, it had something on the shirt. It said, "Nobody respects me" or something, but the R was backwards. And I was like, I like that. I really, really wanted that little bald man with a big nose. So I used my points and I got that. Now, I wasn't really familiar with Ziggy at the time. I didn't think I was going to become a lifelong fan of Ziggy at that moment, but I got my first Ziggy thing. I won it at the amusement park. So I had this big, giant nostalgia connection. I was 7 years old, so right at the start of the nostalgia connection era. And I got my first Ziggy, and man, I love that guy. That little Ziggy guy, that was my best buddy. I played with him hardcore for months. I'd bring him outside, he would get filthy muddy. So I'd bring him inside and I'd wash him in the sink with soap. So, and I just I brought him everywhere. I did everything I could with him. And, he got really filthy. And then one day I brought him to a family friend's house and he got lost. And it devastated. I still mourn that Ziggy doll to this day. I got devastated. Gone from my life. I was hysterically upset about it. One of the people there thinks another kid might have taken him. My theory is maybe one of the moms thought he was just too filthy and had to be thrown away. But it scarred me. That's like my first big loss in my life. So right after that, my mom took me to Toys R Us to see if we could get another one, just because I was devastated. And we went to Toys R Us and we bought two. We bought a blue graduate one. He had a rubber vinyl hat, and the original one said "Nobody's perfect." Nobody's perfect with the R was backwards. That's the one I lost. And then I bought the blue graduation, and then I bought another one that had a yellow shirt. It said something else on the yellow shirt. And that became, I think it was Cutie, because I thought the blue one was cute, and then Whitey, because the one with the yellow shirt was very pale white. So I call him Whitey. It's a funny nickname to this day, and Cutie. And those guys became my new best buds. So I hung out with those guys. We played everywhere. And my sister at the time was 2 or 3 years old. So she started playing with me a lot. So I had my Ziggies, and she had her other plush dolls, and we just became, spent hours and hours and hours playing with Ziggy and Barbie and whatever else she had. And then right around the same time also, let's see, by 83, 84 is when I got into G.I. Joe. So Ziggy just became part of the entourage of people I hung out with. We had Ziggy, we had G.I. Joe. Ziggy would ride in the G.I. Joe vehicles. Then I had Transformers. And then I'd build giant cities with my sister in a spare bedroom in the house. And so I'd take a book and I'd make a city. So each book was a house, and there would be a Ziggy, and a Barbie would be the family there. Usually I would make the Ziggies, my favorite Ziggies would be the babies. And I had a G.I. Joe truck that was the garbage transportation. So I'd pretend to go around and pick up garbage. And so Ziggy was my favorite toy as a kid. I really, really connected with him. And by then I was reading the comic every day, the newspaper. Absolutely loved reading the Ziggy comics. 1986, I bought my favorite Ziggy from Caldors. He was a 1988 graduation Ziggy with a gray shirt and a plastic bald head. And I called that one Chubby because he had a cute chubby look. Loved that one. And he's still my favorite Ziggy, who, when I first moved in with Allison, I gave Chubby to Allison because he meant so much to me that I gave him to Allison to let her know how much she meant to me. And so I didn't give Allison an engagement ring. She pretty much had an engagement Ziggy. And when we got married, Chubby was in my pocket. He was part of the wedding ceremony. And yeah, no, Ziggy, oh. I'm disconnecting. Oh, we're in the area where we disconnect, I think. And that's a good thing. A lot of people had Ziggy growing up. Anyone that grew up in the 80s probably had a Ziggy thing. My wife had some Ziggy stuff. Almost everyone I talked to had something Ziggy. Ziggy was huge back then. Ziggy was a little bit of everyone's lives. I think, I'm not sure how well the connection is. Trying to keep in the connected area. So I'm trying to think. So by like 87, I was 13. That's when I kind of lost interest in toys and that kind of stuff because I was 13. That's what happens to 13-year-olds. I got interested in video games. 1988 is when I got my Nintendo. By like 88, 89, I was getting into baseball and sports. And then, so late 90s, 91, I stopped buying comics. Yeah, Circus Comics is great. I read that every week. I read the whole newspaper section. It would be Peanuts and Snoopy, and then everything else after that if I had time. Yeah, this is the edge of the park. I'm just trying to keep away from the one area where it cuts out every week. I'm trying to see. There's some weird fluffy clouds tonight, so I want to see if we get some weird colorful clouds again. Ooh, I hear lots of street candy folk running around. I think I'm gonna loop around this way. Yeah, just gonna cut through here, I think, or maybe not. I'm gonna go this way. All right, my connection is unstable. It's going in and out. So I'm trying to think. So 91, 92 is when I sold my comic collection. No, 92, 93 is when so when I moved out of my hometown to another location is when I sold my comics. And sold my comics. I was into video games and music. I remember I was buying and selling video games for a bit in the mid-90s. Like I bought lots on AOL, and then I would try to sell them at the flea market. And then I think 96 or 97. Hey KG, 96 or 97. I started looking at thrift stores and like rummage sales, that kind of stuff more often. I'd walk to them, and I think I started looking for Ziggy stuff a little bit then. And then 97, I started really looking for Ziggy stuff because that was like what I really liked. I grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, and then I moved to Dover, New Jersey in the early 90s. I moved into a house that my uncles owned that my great-grandfather had built, which is kind of cool. So 97, I would pick up some Ziggy stuff, and then when eBay started and my mom and I would start going hunting for stuff to sell on eBay, I started looking for Ziggy stuff as well. So when I would go out with her, we'd find Ziggy stuff occasionally. And so I think before I found eBay, I had a box of maybe 50 items in my collection. So little of a collection. Little did I know once I found eBay how it would explode my Ziggy collecting. So 97, when I found eBay, I told the story the other night where I was kind of lonely, and I was selling on eBay. And I started selling on eBay because I was buying so much Ziggy, so I needed a way to pay for the Ziggy. And so I started collecting a lot of Ziggy. And then 98, when I moved in with Allison, that first Christmas, Allison bought me like 100 Ziggy things for Christmas. She told me to stop buying, and she started buying everything that I didn't have that she saw that was nice. Yeah. I did the same exact thing I did with Whatnot now. I spent a lot of money on there, but I didn't have a lot of money. Back then I was broke. You know, back then I was making $60 on a weekend working at the flea market. So when I started selling on eBay and I could make $200 or $300, I felt rich. $200 or $300 felt like so much money back then. Now that's like what I accidentally just spent today. So yeah, and so it's grown then. And then I got to the point where I just started buying as much Ziggy as I could find because it's super fun. And I got to the point where I bought it all. I am done with Ziggy. By 2004, 2005, I owned almost everything that I knew about. And then I just started buying stuff I didn't know about. And to this day, it's just stuff that I'm looking for stuff that I don't know about, which is very, very little. So I don't even look for Ziggy that much often anymore. Just because when I look, it's like an hour of seeing a bunch of stuff I own already. So it's actually not that fun to hunt anymore. Yeah, no, it's become really expensive too the last year or so with just inflation and everything. So yeah, I know I just pulled out $7,000 from my portfolio stocks just so I could catch up on bills and continue to buy for the channels. Yeah, I have to buy in Japan, and I want to buy from Italy and from Brazil, and Thomas from Argentina is trading me stuff. So yeah, I gotta keep. Right now, I'd rather have cash to buy more comics and collectibles because prices are so good than to leave in the stock market. Even though I took a $5,000 loss on my stocks, I'm okay with that because it's actually a really good. You know what sucks? The income you get from YouTube is royalty income. So we didn't qualify for, I made too much like investment income this year, so we didn't qualify for the earned income tax credit. So I don't know, it probably wouldn't have been a lot of money, but it was probably like $1,000 less than I should have got. Or I paid $1,000 more than I should have paid in taxes because of the YouTube income is a royalty instead of like a working. Kind of sucks. Because when you do stuff on YouTube, you're not an employee. It's considered investment income and not earned income. So yeah, I figured this year I don't mind taking just for tax purposes, taking a loss and reinvesting that into something. Either I'm probably gonna buy stuff to sell in the store that's an easy double, which, you know, in the stock market, it's so hard to double your money. It takes years or a decade. So yeah, I'm not really an investment guy. I know last few years people were like, put your money in Bitcoin. Like, it made no sense. Bitcoin was $36,000 at the time. Yeah, iced coffee. Well, the cool thing about the iced coffee is you can order it by the case. So if you really need it, you can pay less buying 12 bottles at a time than one at a time at a more expensive location. That was just an emergency coffee, which the more you talk about, the more I'm going to want one. Oh man, my one toe, I got a blister last night because I was wearing the shit socks. And now it's like getting a little bit worse. I feel it. Man, my walks are going to be hard. Hey, Serge. Yeah, but it's been a good one. This has been fun. I'm really happy Alex brought up a good topic for tonight. I think talking about what causes the value and the price differences, where some grades comics are like the same price and other grades they really spike. I think that was a fantastic conversation. I like when you guys give me a topic for the night because it really helps me just tell a fun story. I think I'd rather tell a fun story than just worry about things. I do miss tonight though. I'm really sad I missed the live stream for comics. I just woke up too late for that. Yeah, you can buy in bulk. You can buy a case of it. You know, the supermarket should have cases of them. And if they don't, you could probably find a place that you can ship it from. I usually don't drink coffee that often. I usually just have a Red Bull if I need caffeine. Because it's like a little bit, it's pretty much the same price, but gives you way more of a kick. I think I want to go down, I think we're going to go this way. I want to go down this street. Yeah, that was a fun box. The stuff I got from Bryce Comics, I bought a couple things from him tonight. But he always has really fun slabbed comics, and they go for decent prices. So I do like buying from him. And I do like the little opportunity to have a chance to possibly win something greater. Yeah, no, I like showing cool stuff, and cool stuff gets expensive. Yeah, Red Bull does give me wings. I like it because it's really good for my asthma. If I'm feeling a little wheezy, if I drink a Red Bull, because it thins your blood or whatever it does, it actually helps my lungs just open up. And then I get wings because I feel like I can breathe really well. So it's actually just, I'm getting more oxygen in more than anything. Oh, this trash was here last time. Same exact pile of trash. They didn't clean it up. That's funny. That's the permanent pile of trash. Or street candy. Permanent street candy pile. Well, when you guys collect my art cards, that really just, that warms my heart the most, because I love making the little arts. I feel like I have 1 or 2 Michael Scotts in the shop right now, just common ones, nothing too special. I'll do another quick whatnot on Tuesday, but now that I don't have the contract with them, I'm not really doing the long ones. So if you want, when I get on Tuesday, I'll try to do a quick sale. I can do Michael Scott. But mostly you're going to be making some art cards. There you go. Yeah, I made 2 more art cards, pink and black theme. I'm not super happy with them yet, but I think they're pretty cool. But I got to make a lot more. All right, we're back here. Famous spot. I thought about it. I might. Like this channel, I like having it just for walking. So I don't know if I want to do it on here. I don't know if I want to do it on the other ones. So Retro, use my referral link. If you use my referral link, you get $15 off your first purchase. So basically, I can put a lot of like 2 pops together for like $15 to $20, and you just have to pay the shipping and like a little bit. And I get like 25, I think, as a referral bonus. So it actually helps me out like doubly. So if you don't have a Whatnot account, make one. Use the referral bonus. It helps me out a ton. And then avoid Whatnot, because Whatnot is so easy to spend way too much money. Okay, I kind of just want to see if there's any weird, like I still don't know how that cloud lit up blue. I still haven't seen it. I haven't been able to reproduce that yet. I don't know. So weird. Oh, you know what we didn't do tonight? We didn't go to we didn't see the Empire State Building, so maybe we'll go down to the water for a little bit. Although it always disconnects. Maybe I don't want to disconnect, because we're at 31. Wow, we've been really good, solid audience tonight. This is awesome. I love that this channel just grows a little bit each night. Although now I'm starting to limp because my blister is starting to hurt. Yeah, Whatnot is very, very dangerous to the wallet. But the sky looks gorgeous tonight. Yeah, the sky has all these weird, singular, puffy clouds. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, Whatnot is dangerous for the wallet. But you're getting stuff at like fantastic prices. But yeah, I'm trying to not go on Whatnot as much right now while I'm kind of broke, because it's too easy for me. Like I spent 200 something playing on Bryce Comics without trying. It was just like a really easy to spend. Even my mom, she went on and she spent $60 without trying. She's like, wow, this is way too easy to spend all your money. But yeah, I don't really, like I have a whole pile of pops for Alex. It's really hard for me to find the time or energy to figure out what people owe me and all that. So it's really hard for me to sell not on Whatnot. Whatnot just takes away the mental thinking about it. So that's why I like Whatnot, because then I don't have to think about it. It just happens. And you're probably finding vintage jewelry you either don't find normally or it's hard to find or way too expensive. Yeah, Alex, you know what happened on Whatnot? People kept telling me things were overpriced there. Like, oh, you go on and you sell a $20 pop for $30. So I was thinking, I don't want to fucking go to a place where you overpay for things. If you guys know me, I don't want to overpay for like anything. If I have a dollar bin, I want to negotiate 90 cents. I don't even want to pay the dollar bin price. So I avoided it, but then some people start telling me like, man, I can't sell anything else on Whatnot anymore. I keep going on there and stuff is going for nothing. So it took me like a month or 2 before I realized, ding, 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 ding. All right, stuff is going for super, super awesome prices. That's cool. Rhinestone brooches are awesome. That's one of those things. When I told my story about selling in Cape Cod, the woman that my mom watched her little antique center, she would sell a lot of old custom jewelry with rhinestones. I love those things, especially like the really old ones. I always thought they looked cool. Tina, I'm gonna look. I might have some vintage custom jewelry in the shops hanging up somewhere. If I find anything, I'll make a little lot for you. I'll make your whatnot even better. Let's see what yeah, and no, whatnot search. Whatnot is definitely just easy to browse and find things that you like for a good price. I do it all the time.
That's Jimmy, right?
I haven't been on the main channel. I have no desire to be on the main channel. Every time I go on there, people like leave shitty comments about how my channel sucks because I'm not doing big mega hauls anymore. And I can't do big mega hauls. The stuff isn't selling. I don't enjoy the main channel because it just keeps dying. Every time I post a video, I gained a subscriber today on the main channel. The first time I've gained someone in a month. So I'm having way much more fun here because everyone here is friends. It's like a positive, wonderful place. And I appreciate that. Like, I don't make any money on this channel, but I get so much life enjoyment with the channel. And I'm really hoping that I get to the point where it is monetized and I can make a little bit doing this. So you buy anything with like blue glass rhinestones and stuff? I'm sure it's gorgeous. Wow, my toe is starting to really feel funky. I can feel myself hobbling a little bit. Yeah, it's just people don't like me to change in the sense that they like the big epic pop hauls, I guess. But the market's too weak. I just can't do that anymore. Man, it is so crowded out here. So we're back kind of in the more happening part of the neighborhood. Lots of people going to the food trucks tonight. The food trucks are raking it in. Look at this. Oh, the chicken truck was here tonight. And here there's a chicken truck that has the best chicken in the city. That's actually we had that for dinner tonight. I love that chicken truck. The cool kid, when his mom says the chicken truck is here, usually only on a happening Saturday or Friday night, it's like it's a joyous time for him. He gets so excited for the chicken truck. Yeah, Friday night it's super busy. When I first got on, it was like over by Bedford. It was crazy the amount. Oh, like here, we'll walk over here. Over here, there's like a huge crowd of people too. It's crowded everywhere. Every single happening spot has like a huge amount of people. Wow, yeah, this is super happening over here. Probably like 50 people to 100 people right here. Oh, there's a line to wait. So you have to wait in line to actually get into that location. Lots of waiting lines tonight for the clubs and stuff. Oh yeah, my toe is really, I'm starting to limp. So this is, I'm gonna have to wrap it up and figure out what to do for tomorrow's walk. This is crazy. It's the first blister I've had on my feet after 50 days of 5-hour walks. I mean 5-mile walks. The only reason why it happened was because I put on my summer socks, which are just light socks. And I need to have my thicker socks on when I'm walking because it cushions the feet. And I forgot to do that. Now I have them on now, but oh man, it's not fun. Not fun at all. It's 52, I think. So it's right on the edge where you just need a jacket, but not like super cold, but not warm either. It's not t-shirt weather. I got a jacket and a hat on, but my hat right now I'm a little bit hot, so I have my hat kind of pulled up a little bit. But yeah, that's why you see everyone in jackets. Oh yeah, Epsom salts. That's probably a good idea to soak in Epsom salts. I think I'll do that. I'm so tempted to. I mean, it's gross, but to pop it, but that's really not healthy. It's a good chance to get infected, so I'm just gonna let it sit. Oh, we passed the bathhouse. I told you guys this is the place where people sometimes eat half naked, but there's bathhouse is not happening tonight. That's not a nightlife spot, I guess. Not a nightlife spot. All right, I think we're gonna go for 2 hours. Yeah, don't pop it. That's the worst. But I'm tempted. But yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Because that's how you get a bad infection. You know what? I have so much fun on these walks. I will struggle through the pain. I woke up kind of sad because I knew I was going to see the Guardians of the Galaxy tonight. Because I woke up too late and I was kind of sad I missed the live stream for the Comic Call. And so I was kind of like I didn't want to walk tonight kind of mood. But talking to you, Alex, you're like, you know what? I gotta go talk. I gotta go walk. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate your inspiration tonight. I appreciate all you guys. All you guys really motivate me to get out here and walk every night, get healthy, get stronger, and just have this beautiful channel where I get to walk and talk and tell stories and share my knowledge. Yeah, it's weird. Like people are like the girls are in their bathing suits. The dudes, like you see their chest hair hanging out. It's so unappealing. I don't know why people are there, but it's a spa. So you go there, you get your back massage, you get in the hot tub, and then you go eat something.
My God.
Darren, you rock. What time do you have to leave? What time is it for you right now? Like 6 a.m., 7 a.m.? I don't even know. That's too funny. This is cool. I always enjoy when Alex hops in my stream because I know Alex is busy too. He's not in every stream. He's not quite a Tina. Or Tina's always here, which I super appreciate. But I do appreciate when he hops in. Yeah. And what I like about Alex is my favorite people to talk to online because Alex likes to push back a little bit and get knowledge out of me. He's like, I have a question. All right, I don't like the answer. Give me a better answer. Let me understand. And like, it's awesome. He's great to talk with because he really makes you think. And then you get the understanding out, and that's great. Because sometimes I know something that I'm not explaining well, or maybe my knowledge is wrong. And so I have to rethink of how I think. Like he made me change a little bit on Sun Kamenicki, is that how you say her name? Because I was just saying, like in general, I didn't think usually like the sexy half-naked girl covers, even if they're based on a character, really have value potential. But Alex proved to me that a lot of them actually double, triple, quadruple in price, really. So they're a good quick flip. I still don't know if they're a long-term investment kind of thing, but if you can get them for retail, why not? And I just showed my my Legend of Zelda one that I got. I got the full 4-pack. Not the, Alex got one, the artist proof. So I didn't get an artist proof. But I got the 4-pack of the sort of naughty, a little bit more naughty, real naughty, and extra naughty. So yeah, we got another party night where people hanging out. Yeah, Darren's in the UK. So Darren's technically not 8 hours ahead of him. You're 14 hours behind him because he's in Tina. You're still on Friday. He's Saturday morning. So he's way ahead of you, not behind you. Yeah, the Sun K Legends House is gorgeous. I don't know if I really need a naked girl cover, but Sun makes a beautiful naked girl. I could say that. But her artwork is really cute, so I understand. So I'll probably end up buying more of her stuff. And just as long as you're buying it for retail and you're getting it for a great price. My goals in 5 years is to have this walking channel get to the point where I get 10,000 people following me each night. And so that I can walk the world hunting for comics. I don't have a store anymore. That's what I would like to happen. Yeah, KG, you're in Australia, so you're even far ahead. What time? KG, what time is it for you? I've done my store now for 13 years. I'm kind of sick of it, honestly. I mean, I love the store, but like, I get so much anxiety dealing with it because it's just a lot of work and it's not super duper profitable. It's enough to keep me going, but if I could find another way to make income, such as walking around telling stories, that would be amazing to me. So I'm committing to this channel pretty hardcore. I'm going to go every day until we're monetized. Then we'll see what happens from there. And then, oh yeah, you're right in the middle of the afternoon. So you're on the other side of the planet. That is awesome. You know what I need to figure out? I need to figure out how to do Streamlabs here where I interact with people, where like you guys can come on and guest chat with me while I'm walking, because I kind of want to like do my walks with a guest, where a guest is either showing me their collection or like they're streaming from, let's say, in a comic shop in Australia or something like that. That would be amazing to me. That's something I would like to figure out, because that would be so fun to me if while I'm walking around chatting with everybody, we could explore some other collectors and stuff. I think that'd be so cool. Something to work on, at least. That's one of my mental life goals. I would in 5 years, I would love to be doing more of my own collectibles, like my robot. It's taken me so many years. I'm not even sold out of PopFuzz yet. I made them in 2005, 2006. So that's been, 17 years? I'm still not sold out. Maybe. I like... Oh man, it is loud. I can't talk. I can't hear myself. Okay, we got cars pulling over to let the cops go by. There we go. That would be awesome, Darren. I'd love to see Forbidden Planet. But yeah, I have to figure out a way. I think there's a way to provide a link or something to share so that people can connect while I'm talking. Maybe I'll figure that out. I don't know. Alex, do you want to show your collection in a couple days? Maybe Alex, because I trust Alex as someone. I mean, not that I don't trust all you guys, but I talk with Alex all the time. So I would like to, Alex is someone I'd feel comfortable working out the kinks of live streaming with people. And then once I figure that out, I'll talk with all you guys. You always gonna have a chance to hang out with me and show me your stuff. I'd love to see everyone's collections and stuff. But yeah, I just have to actually figure out the logistics of how, like it took me months just to figure out how to live stream correctly. I wanted the live stream last year and I just could never figure out how to do it without it looking terrible. You're trustworthy as in you're my friend and you're not gonna like, well, I don't know, maybe some of your comics will be naughty, but you won't do something that would like jeopardize my channel or something. I don't know. That's what I mean. Or I trust that you would be patient with me while I'm trying to figure out stuff and not have it be a complete utter failure. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Tina will watch anything I do. Tina's always following me. It's amazing. I mean, if you guys don't know, Tina is a moderator on my Pop Sleep channel where I sleep all night. I don't know if you guys have watched that channel yet. But yeah, Tina watches that channel. No, I'm just joking. Tina's the best. Okay. Still going. I don't want, we're at 154. I want to keep going, but I'm probably way past the amount of walking I need to do for the day. I'm just really having fun with the chat tonight. Okay, I think we'll loop. Oops, quick question. I think we'll loop around here, and then I might have to call it a night. Mostly because my one toe is just killing me, but like it's killing me, but it's not killing me. Like I'm really enjoying this, so it's like it's distracting me from the pain. I think there's some people that would be here for 24 hours a day. Pop OnlyFans. No, the closest I get to Pop OnlyFans is maybe Pop takes a dump. It's audio only when I have to use the bathroom. But that might be the closest you would get to that. Yeah, Tina won't be around for OnlyFans. Yeah, I kind of do need to do a naughty comic channel just for all the naughty comics I have. I'm sure some people enjoy those streams. Probably. Oh, I see a street candy pirate running around. Hey, Joey. Yeah, I'm almost done with the stream, but I'll go for another 5 minutes or so. Jason Bikini, first edition. Fire. No, it's been a good stream. I don't think we had, we didn't break records tonight. I don't think, what was the highest we got up to? 32 maybe? So not quite a record breaker. But I think the amount of audience has been a sustained 24, 25 the whole night, which is awesome. And it's a long stream too, so there should be a lot of watch hours. I think we were up to 600 watch hours so far. And we're getting about 50 to 60 a day right now. So it's going to take me about 2 months to monetize at this rate. So I might try to do a second stream each day. I'm going to start walking 20 miles a day just to grow the channel. But yeah, no, my feet are I'm starting to feel it. This is the first time my feet have been destroyed from walking. I haven't really had problems yet. Okay, let's see. Whew. So the question is, do I try to take a nap right now and toss and turn for a few hours, and then so I can be up during the day for the garage sales tomorrow? Or do I just continue my normal stream and just be a little bit disappointed about it? Nah, 100% sure what I want to do. A utility collector is someone who collects for the enjoyment of the object. So a utility collector, if you collect comic books, you're going to collect because you're going to actually open them up and read them and use them for the purpose of what it's made for, so that you could actually enjoy it. If you for action figures, you're not buying them as an investment. You're taking them, you're opening up the action figures so that you can actually use them to display on the shelf or take Instagram pictures. You're putting use to them. So utility means you're actually using what you collect. You're not just collecting it and putting it away to like for a future date to sell it. That's why utility. Someone who actually uses their stuff. So you're not collecting for the potential value. You're collecting for the value you get by having the object, if that makes sense. It's one of my favorite type of collectors because I know you absolutely love this stuff. And you're buying it because you love it, not because you think you can flip it and make money on it. Yeah, I love garage sales. And I used to do them on the main channel years ago. Those are some of my all-time favorite videos. Oh, but I don't want to stop. I'm having fun today. This has been a really good stream. Oh man, it is happening. Oh, it is happening tonight. There's so much fun going on. So many people. I was kind of looking forward to this though, because last weekend it rained, and I knew because of the rain that I wouldn't be able to enjoy the crowds. I kind of wanted to enjoy the crowds. So tomorrow night will probably be crowded as well. Although it's not Cinco de Mayo, so tomorrow, but yeah, this neighborhood is a neighborhood that people come to in New York City. All right, we're going in and out. I don't know if the connection is just bad over here. And I don't know if the connection is just bad over here. Okay, I think